Ooh, it's been a while since I've done one of these, huh? So I can't remember what I said last time I made one of these, so I'm just gonna go for everything. So today I have trimmed down the sedums. The plan is still the same. When those two back there get to the same size these two are, all four of them are going in this big pot to kind of like mix and merge and all that kind of thing. So I've got one down here that's growing quite nicely. I think one's called Starfish and one's called Coral. I'm assuming this is the Starfish one because of the shapes. And then this one over here, I'm assuming is the Coral one. I think that's what they were called, but this one grows in like a nice clump. I've just watered them. So yeah. Well, I think that one will take a long time. Because of the nature of how it grows, it will take a longer time to kind of fill the bucket. That one's already reaching over, so they're doing well, they're doing well. I've trimmed these all down, just gone around. Basically, I was having a problem where what I figured out was happening is these are strong, but they're easy to pull out. So when we have, in fact, there we go. So they're hardy plants. They can survive a lot. I believe they're native to this country as well. So that can go in my pocket, that can go in the bin. I daresn't risk it, blowing away in the wind. In fact, there's one here on the floor that can also be placed in a pocket. So yeah. Essentially, they were growing over the edge, and what was happening is during harsh winds, bits of them were flying off and scattering around the garden and rooting. These things can spread from cuttings alone. And once they get in your system, once they get there, they spread like crazy. Thankfully, they don't seem to root very deep, so I don't think I'll have a problem so long as I catch it early. They seem to be very, surface level rooting, which is good. But yeah, I've cut them all back. This one needed a lot more of it than others, like it was flopping over the side here. But I still love them. They still feel like fur or something like that. They're quite pleasant. This one more than this one. This one's quite spiky now. You can see one's actually landed in there a long time ago. I've pointed that out before, but it's easier to tell now that they're starting to flower. The winter rose I've just propped up. It's grown quite well in such a small amount of time. I think I got this, was it November last year or January this year? It was one of them. But it's grown quite well in such a small amount of time. I've just propped it up to stop it from bending over. This space I will save for something. I don't know what I'm getting. Also, the soil looks bone dry. I've literally just finished watered them. But that area there I'm saving for something. I don't know what I'm going to plant there, but I do want to plant something there before these take over. I honestly didn't think these were coming back because these used to be here. I moved them over because I wanted a rose on either side. So I had a massive rose down there and a smaller rose down here. These are winter roses. They don't grow very tall, but their flowers are like this beautiful blackish red, like almost black. They look black from a distance. They're gorgeous. So yeah, I saw it in a park whilst I was away and like, right, I have to get one of these. But I did not think these would come back. They looked worse for the wear, but they are in fact coming back. You can see I got yellow one here, purple one, purple, pink. Yeah, they're coming back nicely. I thought I'd lost them, but you can tell compared to the ones that I haven't disturbed over here, just how better these are doing. I've actually accidentally pulled out a white one. I think I've got like one or two white ones back there still, but when I was weeding, I accidentally pulled a white one out. I've just tied them back because they were all flopping down here, but these are looking gorgeous. And the great thing about these is the bees goddamn love them. So because of where they're scented, everything around here will get extra pollination because the bees love these things, which is probably why this did so well. Note to self, when this dies off during the winter, cut it back, because as you can see, this thing has become extremely top heavy. You can see the old growth back there, and it started to just grow up the top. So I think what I need to do, now that I've learned from this, is when it dies off during the winter, cut it right back to the top of the root and just let it spring back forward, because, yeah, it's become top heavy and it's flopped over, but because it's so delicate, I don't really want to prop it up. And to be honest, from this angle, it looks gorgeous. You don't really notice it back there unless you stand over it, so it's fine. But it's definitely something I'm going to be sorting out when it dies off again. But these are these gorgeous pinky slash purpley orange, like African daisies. You remember last year I had one orange one and one purple one, and the purple one was destroyed by magpies. So yeah, the rose is doing alright. I'm getting the growth back again. Fresh growths. I've just headed a few of them. So this is growing quite well. This is getting to the point though where I will have to watch it to stop it overtaking. I'm going to have to start cutting it back. But yeah, I sprayed it not that long ago with an antifungal spray to stop the leaves from going like they're going. And between a lot of these spaces, I've got phlox. The ones in the soil have not really been doing so well. There's green fly everywhere here as well. There's one here. There's one here. And that's it. And around here, I've got a few more of them in the pots. They seem to be doing a lot better in pots. You can see like the colours here and this one. So I will eventually transfer them over to the soil. I think this one will go up before anyone else. These, believe it or not, are dandelions. So pretty much what I did is I learned that you can actually eat dandelions. In fact, I used to eat them during the Depression. They have, they are more nutritious than even kale or spinach. They have a bitter flavor to them. I have ate them. So what I did is I snipped a few of them off and I planted a bunch of the seeds in these pots. So I'm like, okay, because I know where these come from. They haven't been pissed on by cats or dogs or rats or anything like that. I know exactly where they are. So I'll be able to actually harvest these and eat these at a later date. You can use the flowery, like, yellow buds in drink. You can also cook them and eat them, but it's mainly the leaves. You can also eat the root, but I've not ate the root. I've only just ate the flower and leaves, and they're slightly bitter, and they're really, really nice, actually. I like them quite a bit, so growing them myself. Yes, I'm actually growing weeds. This, I don't know what this is. I bought it randomly, and then all we had was a shit ton of wind. We got a bit of plastic, and you can see it's just completely died off at this point, so I'm just going to leave it there. Don't know what that is. But yeah, the wind killed it. It was nice, so this is absolutely full of algae again. Although, the moss has come up quite nicely. Look at that. Look how fluffy that is. If you remember the moss, look how fluffy that is. The moss has come up quite nice. The moss has survived. I'm hoping it spreads all around here at some point, but yeah, this thing is absolutely full of algae. So I've put more barley hay in there. As it basically rots away, it unleashes, it releases a chemical that basically kills algae. Nothing else but algae. But as you can see, the flower down here is kind of caked in the stuff, which is a shame because this flower has done really well, or this plant has done really well. So yeah, no more algae, please. So I don't want to spray anything in there. I've got rid of a lot of the buckwheat as well, just trying to scoop some of it out. But if I put my hand in there and pull it out, it's like Slimer is living in here. It's everywhere. It's horrible how much it spreads. So yeah, hopefully the barley hay will get rid of that and in a few weeks' time or in a month or so, and I won't have to worry anymore. But yeah, my peppermint is fucking glorious. I've had multiple cups of teas out of this, like peppermint teas, as well as a few foot baths out of it as well. It is absolutely glorious how much it's come up, and it's beautiful. Look how healthy it is. If I go past here, you can actually see some of the old growth. That's the old growth. Again, so it's not actually grown from this, so that's something else I've learning. So again, when all of this dies off, cut it right down to the ground, because when it grows back from the soil. It doesn't grow back from the dead branches. So cut back all those dead branches. And yeah, but I love how well it's filled out this. It's like naturally made a bit of an off circle all around. It's great. I'm really happy with it. I've actually got a school down here as well. Some of the paint job has actually gone in it, so it doesn't look as real as it used to, but yeah, I just got a skull down here just to measure how quickly this thing grew. Here's my Passiflora. It died pretty much as soon as I got it. I think the weather is too cold for it, maybe the wind was too harsh for it, but I do not think that I'm going to be able to grow a Passiflora in here. But I've kept it and I'm watering it, and hopefully, you know, it's not completely dead, so hopefully at some point it will start growing back, but that one's not going so well. Unlike my lemon balm here, which is getting to the point where, I don't like that. Is that soil? That might just be soil. I'm going to actually take that bit off, I think, and bin that. But the lemon balm here is growing lovely. I will eventually, I should be able to start making teas out of this soon and seeing what it tastes of. I've got it because I actually have an antidepressant and anti-anxiety supplement that I have that uses this as an active component. So yeah, if I grow it myself, I can make it myself and hopefully get it to the point like the peppermint where I won't need to actually buy the medication anymore and can just harvest from this, except in the winter, obviously. Another thing I've got is nettles. I've bought both of these from a specialty farm. I'm not touching this one. I bought both of these from a specialty place there. They don't use pesticides or anything like that, so they're all it's all natural. It's not been pissed on or anything like that. It's all good. So again, I'll start making nettle tea out of this. I chose this specifically because I know nettle tea has a lot of benefits, but on top of that, I know for a fact that it's super fucking easy to grow here because it's a weed and it's one of the most prevalent weeds, and when it starts, you cannot stop it. So, yeah. In fact, I know it for a fact because I get these from next door every fucking year. So I've actually taken care of a lot of the weeds. This place was like a jungle. The weeds still exist, but most of the massive ones are gone. It was like a jungle. I'd been putting it off for months. But I'm getting a chemical because I just cannot be arsed. This thing would take me several days, knowing me. So I'm just getting a chemical. I'm just going to spray it, and it's a chemical that doesn't discriminate. So I've got to keep it away from all of these. So first things first, I'm going to spray with water just to see how the pump works because I don't want all this dying off. And then once I realize how it works, then I'm going to spray it and kill all this off. Keep it obviously. Not spraying it around here, this bit on manually weed and this bit on manually weed, just to keep it away from the water and the plants, but all that, and at the top, I'm just going to use the chemical because it's fucking easier, and it saves me a lot of hassle. The wildflowers that I planted, I just pulled out the ground and I planted, they're all dying off now, as is the one in the pot over here. Alright. The lavender, however, is coming back strong. Here is my white lavender that I've transferred over. It smells divine. I still remember that. I actually have to say that every time. I love it. That smell. Gorgeous. It's a little bit raggedy. It's not grown quite as well as the peppermint. It's very top-sided. I did try and pull it back at one point, but it just looked awful. So I'm just going to let it grow how it wants to grow. This one's come back as well a little bit. I think, to be honest, I think that the pot's probably a bit too small for it, and this is probably as much as it's going to grow. What I do like about this, though, is look at all that moss under there. Look at all that moss under there. That's just grown naturally, and I think it looks really, really nice. Also, let's pull that out. Yeah, I thought I weeded these, but I've missed a few of them apparently. I got a sage recently, which is really nice. That shop around my local supermarket, the garden centre there, is opened up. It's not the most impressive thing in the world, but they do have herbs. And I bought this the day it opened. And it's grown quite nicely, actually, since I've got it. I've never had sage before. I don't inherently know what it tastes like, but I was attracted to it basically because of the leaves. They're quite velvety. They've got this beautiful kind of like velvet texture to them. They're really nice. I just like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. And hopefully at one point I'll like the way it tastes. Hell, maybe I'll figure out how they do those like sage wand things and I'll make one of those at some point. Who knows? It could be a moneymaker if I know any spiritual people. I actually have a few of them in the family, so yeah. The red creeping vine has started flowering again. This is gorgeous. This is what people should be using for the lawns instead of grass because it's nicer and you don't have to mow it. It does not look like it's going to get much further than where it is here. It will only seem to travel in soil. So as it comes off the edge here, it doesn't seem to go much farther, but I don't know. But it's really nice and fluffy. And maybe at one point I will actually put it in the soil here. If I can figure out how to propagate it, actually, if that's the correct word, to basically, you know, take one and make it into another one, what I will do is once the phlox is grown, I can just fill the rest of the soil up with this, and it'll prevent me from getting weeds, but I'm going to have to look in how to do that first, but it's pleasant. Same place I got the sage, I got this thing. I forget what it's called exactly. but I just thought it was gorgeous. This is the purpley one. There was a pink one as well. And the other options were red and orange and yellow, and I've got plenty of yellow, I've got plenty of orange, especially where I wanted to put it. And I don't have that much in terms of purple outside of the lavender, and I really like purple. So it's more of a pinky here, but there is a lighter pink version of it, and I don't really like red that much, so I thought these were the best bet. Really nice little flower. It seems to have spread a little bit since I put it in here, but not that much. But, yeah. I'm waiting for a delivery, so that might be what that is. But overall, I'm really happy with how the garden is looking. Slow progress, but we're getting there. I'm just happy that I've got most of the weeding done now. But yeah, the next big project will be transferring these and them over to there eventually. But that's just going to be a matter of time, and hopefully that comes back. Yeah, another garden vlog for you. It's been a while since I've done one of them, huh? Bye for now.